Hi and welcome to my channel. My name is Esther and I make videos about dating, sexuality, body positivity, self-development, virginity, and all kinds of more taboo topics. And today we are going to talk about masturbation, in particular some masturbation hacks. I've done a video previously about masturbation and pros, cons, shaming, all that kind of stuff, so I'll link that up here if you want to check that out. And yeah, let's get into the hacks. So if you're just starting out and you don't really know where to start, I would suggest grab a mirror and have a look down there, because it will obviously help if you know what's where, and just kind of have a feel around, see what feels good, see what doesn't, and yeah, just see where everything is, like where actually is your clit, like where are your labia, stuff like that. So yeah, I would definitely recommend that, because there are too many people that don't know what they actually look like down there, so do that. Okay, number 2 is setting the mood. So there are different ways you can do that. You don't always have to do this. You can make a whole session out of it, have a bath, you know, have a nice shower, then burn some candles, do all of that stuff. You can watch porn if you're into that. You can read some sexy books if you're into that. I don't even know if there's maybe listening books or something that you could do as well. Or if you have a partner or a fuck buddy or whatever, you could try sexting or something like that. Or if you don't want to do any of those, you can just, you know, think something up in your head and go with that. But yeah, just kind of important to somewhat be in a mood, because you need to be somewhat lubricated. If not, use lube. Or spit, I guess. If you use lube and you also have sex with a partner, make sure it's like water-based, so it doesn't affect the use of condoms. Just an FYI. So you look down there, you know what's where, we're in the moods. Now you need to try and figure out what are the right buttons to push for you. So you could prefer clitoral stimulation, you could prefer penetration, or you could prefer a combination of both. Personally, for me, if I masturbate, it's mainly clitoral, sometimes, or a combination. Like, just penetration doesn't really do much for me, so but that's kind of a trial and errors. So clitoral is basically, if you've looked down there with your mirror, the little bumpy thing, that's your clitoris. Or just look up online a diagram, or I might put one here. So basically like 85% of women or something like that need clitoral stimulation in order to orgasm. So that's an important bit to know. And then it kind of depends person to person. For some people it's too sensitive to touch it directly, so you can kind of like rub around it, I guess. But that's kind of a trial and error, so just try different things and see what feels good. So penetration, like basically you can put one finger in, or however many fingers you want, but if you're starting out, I would suggest just start with one. If you want to find your G-spots, it's about, I think it's about this far in. It's like a little, like if you feel like a little spongy bit at the front wall. Yeah, if you feel like a little spongy bit at the front wall, that's your G-spot. So if you want to try that, or you can try a combination of both. Now, I would suggest starting out just with your hands, fingers, whatever. But if you do want to try other things, which is hack number 4, you can try sex toys. So you could try a clitoral-based one like this. By the way, I'm not gonna explain all these toys right now because I've done other videos about that, so I'll link that somewhere too. But you could try something like this, which is like a suction. So this is a Satisfyer Pro, so this basically sucks on your clit. But you could try this. If you want to try a combination of things, you could try something like this. So basically this goes in, this is on your clit, and they vibrate both. Or if you want to try just penetration, you could just use this and then just use this bit. Or if you don't want to actually use a vibrator, but you want to use a dildo which doesn't vibrate, you can just try something like this. But yeah, whatever floats your boat. If this thing is too intimidating for you, you can just go with something like, oh god, oh my god. That was no plans. You could just go with something like this, or you can just go with like a pink one that doesn't look as realistic. But just so there's options. So you could also try like a bullet vibrator or just a wand, something like that. But yeah, just kind of a trial and error, but I would suggest starting out with just using your hands, because obviously vibrators are a lot more powerful than your hands, another person's hands, another person's mouth. So if so even I know, like, I prefer using hands, but if I do notice if I use vibrators like for a longer period of time and don't use my hands, and then I decide, oh, I'm not going to use them, then it's kind of harder to get there. So just be mindful of that. But if that is the only way you can have an orgasm, then go for it. But just be aware that you might get more dependent on them if you use them all the time. If you don't want to buy toys, there are other ways that you could try that are around your house, possibly. You could try, this is a very popular one and probably quite well known, a shower head. But obviously that only works if you can take it off the thing. So just hold it down there. Try that. For me, if I use a shower heads, I need quite a lot of pressure, so I kind of need the ones where you can adjust like the pressure of the water. But you can try that. Something that I've heard a lot of people do, I personally didn't really do that, is people like kind of grind on like pillows and stuff, so you could try that. Yeah, I never tried that, so can't really say if that works for my own experience, but it worked for other people, so you could try that. Please don't use like fruits and stuff to put in there, like bananas, cucumbers, stuff like that. Don't do that. Bacteria are on there. If you really feel the need to do that, which I do not recommend, okay, I am not recommending doing this, but if you are going to do it, at least put a condom on it. Like, be safe. But yeah, probably just don't do that. Yeah, so don't do that. I know a lot of people have done this, because I read about it a lot online, but I've never tried it. But electric toothbrushes, I don't really know how that would work. Like, if you just use the brush and then use the other side, like the flat side, obviously you would use a toothbrush that you're not actually brushing your teeth with, like, obviously. But I don't know if you just put the brush on and you use the back of it, so not the obvious. I assume you don't use the bristles, because that just sounds painful. But yeah, so I don't know if you would use the back of it and then the vibrations of that or something, but people do that. But I would still not really recommend that. Like, you can buy like a tiny bullet vibrator for like $10 online on Amazon, and they'll send it to you, and it's not going to say vibrator on the box. So, you know, you could just maybe do that, or even pick it up at like a post office or something. Probably would not recommend necessarily using a toothbrush. So, and then number 5, you can try different positions. So most people just like lay on their back, which is what I do most of the time. But you can try different positions, like if you have something like this, which actually has a suction thing, so you can put it on the surface, you can put it on the wall even. But yeah, you could actually put it like on the floor or something, on a chair maybe even, and you can like sit on top of it. So it's a different kind of stimulation, I guess. So whatever floats your boat there. Just try out different things. You can lay on your side, on your back, on your stomach. And then one last thing, please take porn with a grain of salt, okay? Because I posted on my Instagram about people asking questions about this, and most of the questions are about squirting. Now, squirting is not that common. Like, theoretically, most people are supposed to be able to do it, but it is very rare. You need to have the right stimulation at the right time. You need to be relaxed. And also, even if you do squirt, it's probably not going to be like porn. Because, fun fact, they actually use water balloons that they insert in porn so that you get that spraying effect. So a lot of times, a lot of people that squirt is just kind of a gush, and it's not like spraying everywhere crazy like that. So yeah, so porn is still like movies, not real. So yeah, take that with a grain of salt. Other than that, the most important thing, I guess, is do what you feel comfortable with, do what feels good, and just have fun with it. Don't feel pressured to have an orgasm. Like, you have plenty of time to practice. Yeah, I hope this video was somewhat helpful. I think it was a little bit all over the place. Like, I'm sorry, I have lockdown brain right now. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment down below. If you have any tips, let me know, or if there are any other specific videos that you want me to make, please let me know that in the comments as well. Please hit the subscribe button, because I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers by the end of the month, so that will be really appreciated, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!